It was great to get off to a fast start. Really difficult opener. Openers are always difficult, but especially you got a new staff coming in, not really knowing exactly what you're going to get. We kind of planned for one thing, and give them credit. They came out and did something completely different, but felt like we settled in and really ran the ball. Really proud of that offensive line. 4 seniors up there. That's our leadership. That's our experience, kind of the heartbeat of our offense, and really challenge them with a lot of unknowns that were going to be out there on the field from Georgia Tech defensively. We really challenged that O-line that, hey, it doesn't matter what they do, we ought to be able to run the ball, and we did that. I think over 400 yards rushing is a great start. Really proud of Travis bouncing back after the fumble and having an explosive run, and also Lynn J did a good job when he got in there.
Were you limited by what you could do early with the passing game? Was it the coverage?
Yeah, they played a lot of coverage. We want to be able to be a balanced team, and we want to have an opportunity, when they're giving us the throwing game, to be able to execute that, and when they're letting us run the ball, to take it. And it's kind of a quick death or a slow death, and we really thought they were going to play a lot of man coverage, and we were going to get a lot of opportunities. Give them credit. They played a lot of zone, a lot of too high, and once we got up there in the second quarter, we kind of forced a few things just because we wanted to use that opportunity to work on some of our passing game stuff. And then when we got in there at halftime, we just said, hey, they're going to give us the running game. Let's just take it and be glad, doing that. And that's what we did.
What did you think of Lauren?
How has he improved, Coach?
Who's that?
How is Travis different this year? And how is
it's just taking the next step. I think just his maturity. He's always been a strong runner. I think for him the biggest step has been in pass protection, and that's another thing I should say is no sacks today, especially with all the different things up front, a lot of unknowns. To be able to come out with no sacks, that includes the running backs, offensive line, and tight ends being tied in. But Travis has worked hard. He's a humble guy, very hardworking, doesn't listen to any of the outside noise or anything like that. And it's great to be able to see him bounce back and have some explosive runs.
What's your take on the Lawrence hit that he delivered after the interception?
Yeah, I think his best play of the night happened on his worst play. And Coach Sweeney spent a lot of time talking in the locker room. That's how you win ball games right there. It's not what happens to you, it's how you respond. It would have been very easy for Trevor, to say, hey, you got me, and just kind of have a little half-speed jog over there and give him the pick six. But right there, when you're maybe most talented player on your team is willing to give that type of effort and be able to trust his defense to go out and hold them out. That to me, even though it was disappointing on the interception and they kind of fooled us with some coverage stuff, that was one of the highlights, his effort right there, because that's how you win ball games. And for that to come from one of your most talented guys is a huge message to everybody in that locker room.
Trevor has faced a limited amount of in-game adversity. How do you feel he responded to what he saw today?
Yeah, Trevor's, he's a brilliant guy. He's got a great head on his shoulders, and very similar to last year at Texas A&M. They had something kind of similar that kind of fooled him one time, and then it's like you're not going to get him twice. And it was definitely a unique technique that the guy played, and really took a gamble. But it's something that Trevor will learn from. We'll learn from as coaches, and maybe not put him in some of those situations as well. But Trevor's a guy that he knows what's going on. We had to do a lot of communicating on the sidelines. There's a lot of communication coming from the box to the sidelines because it was just a lot of things that maybe we did not see on video, and had to kind of make some adjustments. And finally, in the second half, we said, hey, let's just run it, keeping all the coverage that they wanted to play.
What did you see on the touchdown to T going into that?
Yeah, number one, it was good to see Trevor give him an opportunity and throw it up. They played cover two to the field to where Ross was, and gave us kind of one of the rare one-on-ones that we got in the whole game was over there with T. I thought the corner, was very physical, and T did a good job. That's part of T's growth as a player, is getting in the weight room and getting stronger. And just the little things I could see on there, him being a physical guy, going to make that catch and then finish it off. It was definitely one of highlights and explosive passing plays we had an opportunity for.
Coach Frank was coming off the surgery. Had to be good to see
Yeah.
him make that diving catch. Your impressions of him and Joseph?
Yeah, you know, Frank really, whenever he had his little procedure, he was supposed to be out for Texas A&M. That was kind of would have been the normal thing, but you know, just very rare for a freshman. The kind of mindset he had coming working his rehab, very similar to kind of what Amari's doing right now, coming back from his knee injury. It was great to see Frank get that opportunity. I mean, that's a lot to ask some true freshmen to get out there. I think about Joseph Ngata opening kickoff. You know, we've had some great wideouts here. I don't know if we've ever put a true freshman wideout out there to catch the opening kickoff. And so it's good for both Frank and Joe to get some opportunities. And I was really pleased to see Frank go make that play. It's one thing to do it in practice. It's another thing to do it in front of a big crowd on a big stage. And that was definitely a positive today.
What was your impression of Georgia Tech's defense?
Yeah, you know, they did a lot of things. I give them credit. They disguised a lot of their coverage, did some things a little bit different than maybe what we saw on the Temple video. So it took us a little while to kind of adjust to that. But, you know, I give them credit. They definitely disguised some things and had us a little bit off of our rhythm there.